This is three-way maintenance for the EMF100. First thing we need to do is remove the frame and the magwell. Need a 1/8 hex key. Remove the two frame screws. One inside the trigger guard, one at the rear of the frame. There's a ball end hex key. Remove the two screws. Place those to one side. Now, frame and magwell can be removed and the body can be placed to one side. What we need to do is pay close attention to the seal here in the transfer block. Sometimes it sticks into the body, sometimes the transfer block, so just make sure that you have that seal. I'm going to need this later on and replace the three-way in transfer block assembly. Then what we need to do is remove the grips, pull out the locky tab at the back, lever off on both sides, remove the rear section, pull down to the front, remove the front section, grips can be placed to one side. What we need to do next is remove this brass pin. Don't remove the one at the front, just the one at the back. This holds the three-way assembly in place. What we're going to do here is look at both sides. This is a large side, a small side. I'm going to push from the small side using the hex key again. Pop the brass pin out, place that to one side. Now we're going to remove transfer block. Go to one side. That just leaves the three-way assembly in here. It needs to be removed. Give a tap on a hard surface and the three-way assembly will come out. Sometimes the transfer pipe may come out too. That can just get pushed back into place, back into the top of the regulator assembly. It's the frame. We have another gasket seal here. I'm going to take that one out. And then we just want to use a microfiber to give everything a wipe. Wipe off any of the old excess grease. Then we use a spanner, adjustable spanner. I'm going to tighten off the nut at the front. Loosen off the nut at the front. Move that. Pull out three-way shaft. Take the shaft, give it a clean, wipe the old grease off again. Inspect the three seals. We have two custom seals towards the rear, and at the front we have a 4x1 O-ring. Make sure there's no damage on any of those or any chipping or pinching. Inspect the inside, make sure there's no debris inside. You can use a Q-tip to clean the inside of here if you want, or corner of the microfiber and clean out any old grease. Then we're just going to re-grease this and reassemble it. Take a small amount of grease, Eclipse grease, wear that around the three seals. Till they're all evenly coated, but not with too much. Shouldn't be any excess on there really. Then we slide the rear spool back in, cap back on. Just nip that down in place. Doesn't have to be excessively tight. At this point, we want to start reassembling the three-way and transfer block. I would advise to put the first gasket in at this point. Only goes in one way. You can slide that three-way assembly in. What we do want to do is make sure that the push pin inside here is pushed all the way forward. That's the push pin that goes between the back of the trigger. A small window here, and you can check through there and make sure push pin is all the way forward. Also makes it easier for reassembly if you push the three-way into the rear position. And we can drop that in, push it down, it clips into place on top of the transfer pipe. Then we have the transfer block. We still have the seal clipped into the top of here. We have a free pocket here. It only goes in one way, and we want to make sure it goes in the correct way with the large end of the pocket towards the front of the marker. Drop that in and hold it down on top. Three-way body. I'm going to slide the pin in, the retaining pin in, large side again. That will just hold everything in place. Again, one more time, just check that the gasket is there sat on top of the transfer block. We can now reassemble, make sure the seal stays in place. Push the frame up against the body. Put the rear screw in first. Put that in quietly while you assemble the front screw in. Careful not to cross thread to insert it into the body. Work that into place. And then just carefully nip those up. You don't need an excessive amount of force on these. They won't come undone, they are patched. Put the frames back on, put the grips back on. Front section first, clip them in at the top, on both sides, clip those in. Take the rear section, clip over both sides, and close the tab. And that's three-way maintenance complete on an EMEC MG100.